Hello everyone, welcome to this webinar. So this is hopefully the first of many webinars which we're hoping to do. My name's Dean Bates. I work on the product marketing team, so I work with customers, sort of both pre and post sale, and really try and understand some of the challenges they're facing in terms of managing assets and devices in schools, and sort of communicate sort of solutions which we have to them and to the wider school community. Carlos, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yes. Hi, folks. My name is Carlos, and I work with the technical team. I work on project implementations, trainings, and the highest tier of support.
Brilliant. And basically, Carlos and I were talking, and we thought it'd be good to have a sort of series where we introduce some of the features and functionality in VIZOR, which maybe customers aren't quite aware of. So we call these like the sort of hidden gems. So we're hoping to uncover some of those. This webinar rather is intended for customers. If you're not currently a VIZOR customer, you're more than happy to sort of continue watching. However, I would say the best sort of method to get started with VIZOR is to go to our website and schedule a demo with one of the VIZOR team. They'll give you a great high-level introduction. They will sort of tailor a demo based on your own challenges and requirements, and that's a really good sort of starting point if you're not already a customer. So just go to visor.cloud and you can sign up for a demo there. But for the majority of you, then but if you're already VIZOR customers, welcome. So today's webinar, we're going to focus on reporting, and in particular, we're going to look at four main areas. So the first one is the VIZOR homepage, and what we can do on that homepage to provide at a glance information. So when you log into VIZOR, you see the information which is important to yourself as a user, so you can go on with your day. We're going to look at creating ad hoc queries and being easily able to provide a sort of walk-up report, which you can provide to a colleague. We're going to look at scheduling reporting, so you don't need to go into VIZOR, how VIZOR can send reports to your inbox, and look at role-based access as well, so how individual users can access and see different data based on their particular roles. So that is the plan. So let's start off by going into VIZOR itself. So one of the first things I always like to sort of discuss with a customer is ask, well, why do you log into VIZOR? What's the main thing you're trying to do when you log into VIZOR? So let's log in. And when you log into VIZOR, if it looks like this, then you're kind of missing, I feel, one of the sort of main areas of functionality from a reporting perspective, and that is the widgets. So on the current homepage, we have the quick links, so we have all the functionality, but what we're missing are those high-level statistics. So what you can do is just go to the modify button here at the top, and what you're presented with is a list of widgets, glanceable KPIs, which you can add to your homepage. Now, the list of widgets varies depending on the functionality which is allocated to you as a user. So different roles, and we'll talk about roles a little bit in a moment, have different functionality available to them, and therefore different widgets available to them as well. So what I'm going to do is work down this list and say, right, well, if we wanted to see all the assets which we have in storage, maybe a graph of all the Chromebooks by manufacturer, and Chromebooks which we have in storage, and Chromebooks which are out for repair, then I click apply. then it will add those widgets into my home page. So now when I log into VIZOR, the first thing I'm going to see is all of the functionality on the left-hand side, but on the right-hand side, I can see some at-a-glance KPIs. So if you're, for example, somebody in a school which is working on device repairs, then what you might want to see when you log into VIZOR is all of the repair tickets which you're working on, so a total of those repair tickets, and all of the assets which are currently out for repair. So when you log in, you're hoping to see a sort of 0-0 in both of those KPIs. But if there's not, then you can immediately see the status of assets which need a repair and the repair tickets you're working on. And you can click through. So I can click through here and I could see all of the Chromebooks which are in storage state, for example, there. So that's the first sort of reporting area I wanted to demonstrate around making sure that on your individual home pages, you have widgets and data which is relevant for you when you log in. So,
quick question there, Dean.
Yes, sure.
I mean, I'm just going off of some of the experiences I've had here. Let's say that I'm interested in a particular KPI and I don't see that KPI listed in the widgets. What are kind of my options there?
Yeah, it's a great question. So those widgets are essentially the totals of queries. So, and what we have is a list of queries here. So one of the KPIs you saw on the homepage just was assets out for repair. So that assets out for repair widget, that KPI, is the total of all the assets which are out for repair. In fact, I'll click on it here. All the assets which are out for repair for this particular user. So if there were any, for example. So what you can do is create your own query, and we'll run through that in a moment, actually. And then if you talk to the technical team, they'll work with you to turn that query into a widget so you can see that on your homepage.
That's pretty neat. Thank you.
Yeah, so, and what I would say is that any questions which you have about creating queries, then reach out to your VIZOR account manager, send an email to support at visor.cloud, and the sort of team, the team which Carlos works with very much, we'll be sort of happy to sort of help you out there. And yeah, so that leads on actually nicely to talking about queries. So these custom queries here. So we have lots of custom queries out of the box, and these can be used not only to make it easy to select assets from the list here, from the summary list, but also to create custom sort of ad hoc reports. So as an example, if someone was to come up to you and say, hey, I need a list of all of the Chromebooks which are in this particular school where we purchase them using the ESRA sort of COVID funds, for example. So what you can do is come into VIZOR and specify those parameters. So we can say, firstly, we're looking for a Chromebook. So we can select the Chromebook asset type. Then we can specify which school we want. So I can select the school field, and we'll select Very Park at the top. And then we can select the funding source. And you can select any of the fields and create a query based on any of the fields within VIZOR. And there's lots and lots of fields. So this gives you sort of massive sort of possibilities in terms of creating reports based on any of the fields, and as you can see here, any of the combination of the fields as well. So I'm going to select funding source, and I'm going to select the ESRA funds as well. So this sets up our parameters of the data we're looking for. The next part of the puzzle is the column layout. So If, for example, we wanted warranty information, I can just select warranty here. Now, these are the column layouts we have in VIZOR out of the box. If there's other column layouts you're looking for, then again, that will be a good opportunity to engage with the technical team over at support@visor.cloud, who will be sort of happy to help you create a new column layout. So, but for this example, I'm going to select warranty information. So then I click OK. And now I can see all of the Chromebooks in a Very Park school, which were purchased using the COVID ESRA funds. And I can see warranty information about them. So I can see when the warranty started and when the warranty ended for those particular Chromebooks. And I can then easily export that information into a spreadsheet. So whether that's a sort of CSV or an Excel spreadsheet, and easily give that information to a colleague. So that's a sort of easy ad hoc reporting method, which really complements our sort of wider sort of reporting gallery, where we've got document style, sort of PDF style reports, which I think, Carlos, you're going to talk about how we can automate sending those sort of style reports via an email.
That's correct. Now, just a quick break in the schedule here. I just thought of a hidden gem that I like
a
lot, that comes in very useful. Maybe we can squeeze that in, and it'll be quick, I promise.
Really, I like that,
since I have control, allow me to take away the school filter and the funding source. Click, and the hidden gem that I'm about to talk about is, let's say I'm looking for a list for my audit. I'm auditing. I want to make sure that my Chromebooks fleet has all the information that I ask from my librarians that hand these out. And specifically, I want to make sure that they're all marked with a location, regardless of what that is. I just don't want the location field to be empty, right? So this is usually a work in progress. We can idealize it, but sometimes things fall through the gaps. So if I want to have that visibility about how many devices don't have anything, are missing a location, here's a hidden gem. You select the field that you want to put an empty condition for, use the operator like, and as a value, you're going to put in the following: null, right? You click OK, and you can use this not just for the location field. This is universally. So this tells me something that's great. For Belinda, she doesn't have any Chromebooks with an empty location. Let's see if I can get something listed if I take away. Oh, everything has a location. That's pretty good. So Belinda might have access to only a few items on a specific location. Let's say, and this segues really into my portion, because I'm going to talk about role-based access further down the road. But I'm glad I could squeeze in this little gem here. We'll come back around to the role-based access and how maybe somebody else in the organization might get something listed here, and it might not be inaccurate, that Belinda doesn't see anything. I'll talk about it later. So now I'm going to log out and log in as an admin, but I'm going to go over to a particular place called the admin portal. Only administrators are allowed there, for sure. And to schedule, let's say we have a need for report subscription, over on this side. I want the list of repairs for a particular day for it to come in every Monday morning, let's say. I want to know what's out for repair from the last week so that I get an understanding of what the repairs team is going to have to deal with over the course of this current week. So I'm going to go ahead and select the resources process. Resources, aka assets. Most likely, this is what you're always going to be picking. Now, I'm going to click on add a new subscription, and I'm going to give it a name. So Monday repairs report. All right, click OK. Then out of the dropdown, I'm going to select what I want. So in this particular case, it's the assets in repair report. That's what I'm interested in. Make sure that you let the support team know if there's something that you'd like to see here, a report that doesn't get listed in your VIZOR, so that we could tailor it, make sure that we can give you that visibility. In this particular scenario, I have selected the report I want. I will select the PDF form, and I'm going to send, yes, it's by email, select the template. That is not necessary for now, so allow me to leave it empty. The recipient's fairly simple. I'm going to click either type in the email that I want or select the user that is supposed to receive it. In this case, I'm an administrator. I'm going to pretend that this is my user, and this fella with admin@yourcompany.com will get the report. It is a multi-choice, so if you want to list a whole crew in there, that's fine. If you have as a contact a distribution list like IT support, it'll show up there. You can select that instead of specifically pointing out who needs it. And yeah, all good so far. Last but not least, you got the scheduled time. What time do I want this to come in? Well, probably around 7. I mean, the earlier in my mailbox, the quicker that I'll get to it, right? Before everything starts to pile up. Let me click on the 3 dots on this side here, because as you can see, you might not see the Monday morning schedule listed in your environment. I created this earlier just to go quicker through this exercise, but you could customize. You can come in here and create more schedules or modify existing schedules. That way, if you have many reports that you want on Monday morning, you don't have to type it in over and over again. If it's always the same kind of schedule, you can reuse that schedule across many reports, if that makes sense. Start date, end date. Yeah. It's very straightforward. Now, let me close out of here and click apply. This is it. Boom. As you can see, it is now aware of my choices, and I can look forward to getting that email.
So just to cover what we saw there, so we were able to select any of the document style reports. So in VIZOR, there's the reports button in the top right. You can click that and you can see all the reports which are available to you. And generally speaking, you would be in VIZOR, you would click on reports, select a report and view the report at that time. But what we can do here is select any of those reports and say how we want to receive them. So as a PDF, specify who wants to receive that report. So it could be yourself, or it could be some members of your team. We look like we could pick multiple people there, Carlos, and then specify a time. And then VIZOR will send that report to us based on that schedule. And I think you picked a really good example there in terms of like assets which are out for repair. So on a Monday morning, being able to receive a PDF of all of the devices which need a repair. So you can just like look at that ahead of time and then go into VIZOR as those assets are repaired and sort of change the status of each of those individual assets. I I think another good example is the assets change report. So being able to schedule that report. So at the end of each week or each month, you can go in and VIZOR will send you a report showing you all the assets where a change has occurred to them. So an asset which has changed status or changed location. I think that's a sort of another good example for. In fact, there's like so many sort of good examples of where you can set up a sort of use report subscriptions and have VIZOR like proactively send them to you. Yeah, I love that. It's great.
All right, so now I'm just going to log out, and in fact, I'm going to take us back to the regular area, the regular VIZOR portal. I'm going to make use of the next few minutes to illustrate first the report as an administrator, the repairs, because I want to then transition into the role-based access in VIZOR. So I'm going to demonstrate what this particular user, the administrator, has access to, what the report looks like, and why that might be. So in here, you see, as an example, in my summary list, I see devices at the Byron High School, devices at the Avery Park High School. This is normal because this user is a member of the administrators group. People in there get access to all the locations, all the departments.
So this could be, for example, a tech director of a school district where they've got oversight of all of the schools in the district, and they would obviously want to see all of the assets in all of the schools. Yeah, perfect.
The overall high-level stats, exactly that. And let me see. Let's go over to the reports area. Let's go over to the asset repairs, assets in repair. Pardon me. Yeah, you just scroll past it. Here we go. So I'm going to click on view, and there it is. I get a nice distribution of the different devices in repair. So obviously the total is in light blue, and the ones in repair is in dark blue. So
we're looking at there, we can see there's 248 assets in total which are in repair. Yeah.
And that's mostly audiovisual and computers.
District. Yeah, it looks like it. Yeah.
For the whole district. Now, let me exit out of here. And this, by the way, this is what I just picked in my previous example for subscriptions. This is what I'm going to get in an email, in a PDF form every Monday morning. Whoever I picked as the recipient is going to get this nice little chart distribution of the repairs and the total to get an overview of what's common for that week, right? Now, knowing this, I'm going to log out and showcase the same, but using Alina Brie, which is here is her username. Alina is a fresh new user. She is an IT principal, let's say, and the organization itself is a school district. So I've limited Alina's membership to be able to see only certain things, specifically only stuff for her school. So repair tickets, only repair tickets about devices from her school. Students, teachers, and staff, only from her school. And obviously, Chromebooks and assets, only from her school. So in this case, she's a principal at Byron High School, and you will not find anything else in her list of assets. You will not find the other high schools, kindergartens, etc., unless the device is transferred from their location into yours. That said, it doesn't end there. The access is also extended over in here into the assets in repair report that I just showcased. So if I were to click on this report, For Alina's going to get this different overview. She clearly doesn't have the whole spectrum of devices. Clearly, iPads, notepad, iPads, uninterruptible power supplies, etc. They're not in here, so they don't get they don't get to be part of the chart.
Mm-hmm.
And as you can see, the number of assets in repair is drastically smaller, which makes sense, right? And so realistically, Alina has the ability to lay out what's important for her week using numbers that belong to her and her scope. And this is not limited to just Alina. Anyone else in Alina's capacities or with the same memberships is going to get the same experience, regardless of the location. So some other principal, or perhaps an IT asset manager at a different school gets the same memberships or permissions. They will have the same experience with their own data, their own statistics, their own PDF charts.
So
Any questions?
So the first user who logged in, they could see, because they were, they could see everything. They're a tech director, so they get complete visibility. Mm-hmm. For the second user, because they're just a principal in, say, a particular school, then they're just seeing the assets. And as you demonstrated, you can go into a report, and the reports are filtered as well, just for their particular school. Okay, brilliant. Yeah, love it. I don't know if you're able to sort of demonstrate this, Carlos. How, from an administration point of view, how can we sort of customize a user so they only see assets which are in a particular school? Is that something you're able to show us?
Yes, absolutely. So in this case, Alina was mistakenly set as the principal for the school, but maybe she works at the headquarters. The headquarters might be located inside the Byron High School. So
she changed roles. So she initially worked in just
she changed
school,
roles,
but
exactly.
now she's working for the district.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it'll take administrative privileges to go into the area where we want to do that. In this case, Alina doesn't have that. So let me log out and log back in as the person who's going to grant those permissions. So I'm going to go in as the admin. I'm going to find Alina's profile. I'm going to click over here to see Alina's profile inside of the security view, which only administrators get access. Let's search for a Bree, her username.
Yeah.
Should pop right out. There it is.
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah.
And let me showcase first one thing. The location. How does VIZOR know which location to show? This is it. Now, in this particular task, we're going to give her more permissions, right? So I know for a fact that the admins group gets to see devices everywhere. But it's not the only one. Chrome managers get that capability as well. So for now, her role changes. The IT asset manager is no longer needed. IT managers also get that. I know for a fact. Now, if you have any questions about which ones have it, which ones don't, you can contact our staff via the support channel that was mentioned here previously, support@vizor.cloud. The reason I mentioned this is because for you, perhaps it's pertinent to have Chromebook managers limited by location. It is all part of the implementation project, something that gets discussed, the tailoring of the permissions to the right memberships. We go through that exercise every time. Yeah, so if you're not clear about which ones you have or how to see that, reach out. We'll help you out.
Okay.
Now, in this case,
Carlos, So just here for a second, sorry to cut in there. So for this particular user, so at the moment, they can see all the assets in the Byron High School, wasn't it? So, and what you're saying here is that if we add Alina to some additional groups, so to the admin groups, to the IT managers groups, then even though Alina is in the Byron High School location, she'll then be able to see all of the assets in other schools as well, because of the privileges which are granted to those particular groups. Is that correct?
Exactly. The groups stack up, so you're only gonna need one, but yes, exactly. So it doesn't matter at that point which location she's in.
So, but as another sort of example here, if the Alina was to remain in the same group, same groups, but maybe Alina is not working for the district, but is moving from one school to another. So she's no longer the principal at Byron High School. She's now the principal at Avery Park, for example. If I were to change the location here from Byron to Avery Park, when Alina now logs in, will she now see assets in Avery Park instead of Byron High School, or is there some other change I need to make?
There is no other change to make. That's
Brilliant.
Exactly it.
Okay, so as staff move from maybe one school to another, and they need to see different assets. So this isn't moving as in, going around fixing assets in different schools. Like that would be more of a district role, but actually moving, jobs from working in one school 1 year and now working in another, then you can just go into VIZOR, just change one field, and now the assets they can see will be changed just by changing that one field there.
That's correct.
Brilliant. That's really good. Yeah, I love that. So, is there? In fact, shall we do that? Shall we just quickly change? So now we change it. Yeah. So now if we log in as that particular user, and then see the assets change. And I think this is one of the areas, so one of the maybe more advanced areas in a way, but where we get asked an awful lot about with schools, where they want to provide role-based access. So as Carlos was demonstrating there, we have lots of different roles in VIZOR. When a person's allocated a role, then they get access to different functionality. But they also need access to different data. They need different views on that data. So brilliant. So I see you logged in. So now exactly the same user we was looking at before. We just made that one change to the one field. And now we can see all the assets in Avery Park instead of Byron High. So I think that's sort of super powerful, I think. And I think quite a sort of unique sort of piece of functionality, which really sort of resonates well with schools. So what I would say is, if you're listening to this and you're a tech director in a district at the moment, and you want to make VIZOR available to a wider pool of audience within your district, so you want principals, maybe even teachers, being able to see assets in their particular school alone, then hopefully what we've shown here will help you. But please reach out to the technical team. We can make those changes for you as well. Maybe you want to only provide read-only access, so a principal can log in. They can't make any sort of write changes to the asset, but what they can do is see the assets in their school. I think that's sort of super powerful. So please reach out if that's something which you would like your environment configuring for. Carlos, is there anything else you wanted to cover around roles and sort of role-based data access?
Right. I think those are going to be more appropriate further down the road in another webinar in the series. But I think it's only the start.
It is. Yeah, and I think that's a great sort of segue there. So we're hoping this will be a series. If there's any other topics you would like us to discuss, we want to get like real deep dive. I think we sort of made a start with that today. We're hoping to alternate between really all sort of simple topics, hopefully, like making sure you have widgets on your homepage, to maybe sort of some more advanced topics such as setting role-based access for users. But if there's anything you're looking for, then please send us an email. We want to do these sort of pretty as regular as we can, and it'll be great to sort of have your leadership to sort of help us direct the themes which we covered. So yeah, so thank you very much for your time today. I hope it's been useful. Please get in touch with your ideas and your feedback, and yeah, we'll sort of speak to you again soon.